Okay, good morning. We're back to our Shalom Bayit class. We're still on the book of Happily Married by Rav Zamir Cohen. We're on chapter 14. It says, the strength to cope. We're going to get into it, but I just got a text from our marriage group, and the person is writing, a couple of guys have been discussing how they, at certain points of the day, they want to destroy their wives. But then listening to the maybe 10 minutes of the videos, they're able to calm down and understand a different angle. Yesterday, the day before, I also spoke to another man who recently got on. He said, wow, thank you so much for the videos. He says, I used to be very rough with my wife and used to get out of control, this, that. And then when I heard you saying, you got to be a man, you got to this, that.
I hear your voice in my head, right?
Yeah.
Be a man, I'm like, you got to be a man.
He says, wow, that put me into perspective. We have to understand that we are tested not by her. We're tested by Hashem, and we're tested on our character. I'm going to give you a little example of what happened this week or what I see, right? And I'm amazed. It's unbelievable. So I have my table in my house where we have, we eat there, but on Shabbat mostly. We usually use the island. Now, I have where I sit usually, I have my book, I made my siddur, I have my glasses, I have my pen, and I have maybe a book or two that I use, right? It's a little space, right? The other day I come, about 2 days ago, the whole thing is cleaned up. It's like everything put nicely, the books, this, that. My eyeglasses, my pen, this, that. Everything is clean, one little note. I need to fix this, fix that. Okay, it's okay, no problem. But then when I got to the kitchen, I'm looking at the kitchen, I'm like, the kitchen is balagan. Meaning, everything is washed. But like you got the blender is over here, and the pots and pans are over here, and the cups are over here. They're all washed. They gotta go back into their place.
I was telling you this yesterday.
Oh, you were telling me this?
Yeah, about the putting the stuff back.
No, but 1 second. You didn't understand the point that I'm trying to make. Somebody took, probably my wife, because nobody, my kids wouldn't dare touch my area. But anyway, she went to fix my area, which I'm going to use anyway the next morning because I'm there for 2-3 hours. But yet the kitchen, bichlal. Now again, what's the thought process of a woman? Can you explain this to me? I can't understand this. So years ago or whatever, about a year ago, you know what I would do? I'd be like, yo, why are you touching my area? It's messy. She would tell me it's messy. Why? Because the book is there, glasses, like whatever. It's my area. And I'd be like, I'm messy. Go look at the kitchen. What the heck is that? Looks like a tornado went through here. Forget the kitchen. Look at the basement. Look at that. Look at this. Look at. Why are you touching my area? We have to understand that this is a test from Hashem. Whatever is coming to us, don't think it's her. And you know what? The more wild it seems, the more it's a test from Hashem. Why? Because it's like, if it's logical, how you could say it's logical. If what's logical? She has the kitchen clean, right? She has the kitchen clean. She's ADD about that, or whatever. How do you call that? Obsessive, whatever, right? OCD, right? And therefore, she cleans my area. But that's not the case. The case is the kitchen, again, with clean dishes, right? It's like all over the place, right? And yet my area, she's cleaning it. I'm like, what's the...
Sense, yeah.
What?
Makes sense.
No, it does not make sense.
That's what I'm saying. You can't make sense of it.
Oh, so therefore, the more it doesn't make sense, the more you have to say, you know what? It's Hashem. There are people who have very, very tough wives. I could see it. I've already been, experiencing very tough wives. And not only that, but they have tough situations. It's a little bit tough with the money. It's a little bit tough with the children. And you're looking at it like, wow, how does Hashem do that? Why would he do that to this individual? Meaning, why would you take this individual who looks like a miskin, who looks like he cannot handle it, and give him not only a wife that's bashing him, not only is hard for him to take money, but you give them the kids that are problematic. And this, what's going on? You know what's going on? Over there, that's illogical. It's illogical. Over there, it's Hashem. 100%. Everywhere is Hashem, by the way. Everywhere. Even in the logical, it's Hashem. But in the illogical places, you have to say, when you're in the situation, you can say, Hashem, I hear you. I got it. You know what? You're next to me. I know this is a challenge from you. I know that you know that I have the strength to beat this challenge. Because he's not going to give it to you. Imagine you got a guy, he cannot pick 100 pounds. He's like, pick up 100 pounds, you can do it. I can't. Maybe 10 pounds I can pick, but I can't. You know what? If Hashem giving it to you, you could. And therefore, don't downplay yourself. Do not downplay yourself. Nabarot say, wow, if I'm getting this, that means only I can deal with this child. Only I could deal with this parent, with this wife, sorry. Only I could deal with the situation that I'm having difficulties with this parnasa. Why? Because if that guy didn't get it, it means he cannot deal with it. Cannot deal with it. He'll break down. You're standing, that's yours. And that's why each challenge that we get at home or wherever we get it, but mostly we're Shalom Bayit class, right? At home, don't look at it as her. It's Hashem gave it to me. And you know, it's interesting in one of the other books. You know what it says? Number one, pretend you don't have this challenge. You hear what it says? Pretend you don't have this challenge when you pray to Hashem. Why? Chas v'sholom, it should be in the pretext of a complaint. You understand what I'm saying? Do not pray to Hashem in a pretext of a complaint. Don't say, Hashem, I don't know, why you giving me this wife? Why you giving me such hard time, parnasa, No. He doesn't want to hear that. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't want to hear you complaining. You know, general in the army or a sergeant or whatever, he knows he's telling him, do 50 push-ups. Do this. Get up in the morning at 5 in the morning. Let's go. We're going to the swamp. Please, I can't. He doesn't want to hear that. He doesn't want to hear that. He wants to be like a soldier to do the job. And therefore, he says, pretend you don't have the problem of a difficult wife. Huh? In a different book. Yeah?
I've heard this before, but I haven't.
Actually, it's Shalom Arush saying it.
Yeah, I know. But he also says,
In the ladies' book. And he says, in the ladies' book version, and he says to them, pray to Hashem, but forget about this issue that you have. Pray to Him, wow, Hashem, I love you. First of all, thank you for giving me a husband that supports me. He brings me parnasa, this and that. And thank you that he says, because at the end of the day, he has a lot of positive characters, positive traits he has. First mention all the positives. Forget about the negative. Say thank you, Hashem, for the fact that you gave me what you gave me. Please give me strength to be able to fulfill my mission in this life. You understand? Yes, a little bit louder.
How did you react to the fact that you saw the table was clean?
Nothing. I didn't take it personally. I don't know why she did it. Maybe she likes the table clean. I don't know. It's not close to Shabbat. This was done Monday. Sunday I just start doing it.
May I suggest?
Yes, absolutely.
I think that she's looking for opportunity to be praised.
Oh?
And maybe we can look at this at a different angle. And even though you don't like it,
Yeah.
somebody touching my stuff, but if you're gonna find strength, even though you don't like it, but you come to the thank you, you made the order over here, you put this, you put that.
It's interesting. She knows I don't like people touching my place.
Yeah, but
And you know what? It's actually a burden for me to have this place clean.
correct.
What I think is, you didn't hear what I said to you. She cleaned everything, and the only thing on the table was a little note saying, I need this repaired, I need that repaired, I need this repaired. Huh? No, so look at how they, it's amazing how they think. She's been telling me these things already for a while. You understand?
To do things? Or
Yeah. No, not to clean. To do these things. She wants me to fix the tiles in the bathroom. She wants some closet repaired, whatever. It's not something simple I can do in 5 minutes. You hear? So she said it to me before. She put a poster on the refrigerator. But now look, she cleans everything and just puts this note. It's amazing. Yeah.
This is what it is.
Put a microphone. I need these things fixed.
Oh, yes.
I'm talking to you guys from another angle. From the angle is, don't get upset that you see sometimes she right, is like completely not doing the job of whatever, and yet she bashes you on the same item. You hear? Like in this example, right? The kitchen is all balagan, but my table she cleaned up. Ki'ilu, I want the table clean. I want the kitchen clean. You hear? Meaning I want all the dishes to be put away. You hear what I'm saying? This is illogical.
Yeah.
And when it's illogical, logical for sure it's Hashem. Illogical, all the more so it's Hashem. And you have to say, oh, I'm going to be a gibor, I'm going to be a strong man, and I'm going to take it and say, yes, my love. Like you said, wow, thank you so much for cleaning this area. Beautiful. But guess
I
what?
got your message.
But guess what? It's back to where it was yesterday or whatever. When I started, I can't. I need my glasses there, my pen there. I need my sidur there. I need it. Why? I'm coming back to it tomorrow morning. You hear?
Doesn't matter.
Just like they're thinking, the reason I didn't put away, I'm gonna need the blender next morning. I'm gonna need the pot for the next thing. I'm gonna need So it's the same idea, but yet you're getting hit like this quietly. She doesn't say anything. The relationship, Baruch Hashem, bli ayin hara, is good. Yeah. So anyway, chapter 14. Just wanted to put that in, guys. 11-minute introduction. Don't get flustered by what your wife does. Don't. It's a test to see you're a man or you're not a man. Ti mujik ili ti mujik. Everybody walks around, yeah, mujik, yeah, mujik. You're not a mujik if you're going to let a little girl, little woman to take you off balance. Be a man. Stand on both feet. Nothing should be moved, Nothing should move us. Interesting. When we were young, we used to have this game, right? We'd say, try to push me, right? And the guy would, and you'd stand there on 2 feet. Davai. So over here, imagine a woman with a couple of words knocks you down to the point you start crying like a baby. Why are you doing this to me? Yeah? Meanwhile, we sat there like a man, back in the age, was to push me, and the guy would push you strong, Don't get to be like a wuss and break down. Stand there like a man. Take whatever she has to take. Give you. Be relaxed. Okay, let's get over here.
Потом он жалеет то, что это делает.
What to the wife after? Of course. You know why?
Жалеет потом.
Yeah, because 2-3 days, no talking, no this, no that. I don't need that. Sometimes 2-3 weeks. Yeah. Okay. He says, veteran married couple often lament. I know that it is all true. And that one must give in and sacrifice for the sake of peace. But where can I find the strength to cope? I know we were just talking about it. I didn't read this thing. Yeah, he says, where am I going to find the strength to cope with all the problems that I'm getting? The older problem, the more ingrained and bigger it grows. The older the problem, and the more ingrained and bigger it grows, and the harder it becomes to deal with. A person must mobilize greater strength to stand up to the trials again and again until the desired peace reigns once more. He says, don't give up. Do not give up. He goes, yes, the older the problem becomes, the more difficult it is to solve. And you know why people get divorced? They cope 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, right? And then they say, I cannot make this happen. They get very upset at their spouse, whoever it may be, and they feel that there is no return. They feel like there's no solution because I tried and I can't, and therefore I would rather go out and start something new or not be with this individual. Whoever it is, by the way. He says, don't do that. One of the things that we know is that in Judaism, we never give up. When you give up, the Yetzer Hara got you. In Judaism, we fall down, we get up. 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 There's no such thing as, giving up completely. Yeah? And in marriage, that's how it is. Moshe Rabbeinu prayed 515 times, right? 515?
Yeah,
right? Why? Moshe, 100, 150, 180, 200, 226, you name it. 5, why? I'm not giving up. And you know what? He would have kept going. Hashem said, stop.
Stop.
Stop. No, there is. And he would come to the point where he would break through. But Hashem said, I don't want that breakthrough.
No more.
Same thing over here. You have to go and pray to Hashem. I'm telling you from experience, I didn't know what to do already. I didn't know what angle to take. I didn't know which rabbi to go to. I didn't know what therapist to talk to. I just didn't know what angle to. But you know what? Baruch Hashem, there was a breakthrough. Why? Because you don't give up. You gotta keep going. That's the test. You understand? That's the test. So he says, aside from the tremendous energy one needs to draw upon to stand up to the test, one must think again about how important peace between a husband and a wife is to God. So much so that he sacrificed his own honor and esteem for its sake. There's a great reward that awaits one who generates peace. Which means what? Don't get into the argument to begin with. If peace is so important, don't get into the argument to begin with. If a person knows that if he's going to be defensive and it's going to go to turn into an argument, don't be defensive. Defensive means you're going to try to prove your point. Yes, you're right. I'm not saying you're not. She says something, you 100% right. 1,000,000% right. Don't start proving yourself. I've been there, done that. It doesn't work. Because what's going to happen is she's going to start going, and then she's going to be irrational. You're going to be like, oh my God, this woman is not normal. I'm telling her, listen, 1 + 1 is 2. And that's exactly what I did. You're telling me 1 + 1 is 50. Could you listen to yourself? Have you been in situations like this? You're like, 1 + 1, everybody knows it's 2. No, it's 50. Oh, you crazy. I just remember these situations and you really don't understand. What is she thinking about? And what do we say? It's that she knows she's wrong. But I cannot admit that I'm wrong. I'm fighting for my honor. I cannot. And I will sit and believe that 1 + 1 is 50. And that's why it's not worth to you to be logical and to understand and to complain and to know I'm going to prove to you that I'm right. It's the best thing. Yes, my love. Absolutely.
You know what happens after?
We're going to make it work, huh?
You ever have it happen afterwards where she would come over to you and say you were right?
Never. In my situation, I never had that. If you had the situation where she came and said, you're right, you got to give her kudos. Yeah, because but many women, very hard for them to say that they were wrong. Because by saying you're right, she's saying I'm wrong. And she doesn't want to be seen like that. You understand?
I usually say, listen, it's not about right or wrong.
Yeah. So over here, I tell my guys, do not be right. Do not try to prove your rightness. Just let it be good.
No, what I'm saying is I would agree with her and let go.
Yeah, and then she would come and say, oh, so that's a good idea. That's a good idea. So he said like this, yeah, it's how important peace? So much so that Hashem sacrificed his name, correct? He says the Torah writes, its ways are the ways of pleasantness and all its paths are peace. In other words, there are many paths and roads in the marvelous setup of the Torah's mitzvot, but all of them, without exception, lead to peace. So therefore, if we know that a conversation is going the wrong way, please, men, be men and stop. Do a different detour, recalculate. Don't go, yes, the destination, you're right. I'm going to the destination. I'm right. Recalculate. Go different way. Yeah, don't be right. Our sages said, God found no better vessel to contain blessing than peace. Blessing translates to bounty and abundance of goodness in all areas. It is the ultimate aspiration of all mankind. And the Creator himself testifies that there is no vessel that can contain that coveted blessing better than peace. Without a container to hold this desired gift, there is no blessing. We see that God establishes peace as the basis of all the commandments of his Torah. And this is the all-purpose utensil for blessing and goodness. From here, a person can understand how precious and important peace is in his home and in all the interpersonal relationships, and how worthwhile it is to sacrifice for it. Every day we get a bounty from Hashem. Shefa, Baracha, and everything. He says the only thing that can catch this is peace. He says if there's no peace, you're holding a sieve. You know what a sieve is? Holes. Nothing. All the Shefa, bounty, Baracha, all down the drain. All down the drain. All down the drain. So what do you need that for? He says if you have peace, that's it. Quiet. And if we really think about it, after 25 years of realizing this, it wasn't worth all that stupidity. No. It wasn't worth it. So much anguish, so much gray hair, so much time wasted. For what? But why? Because I didn't know. I really did not know. I didn't know this concept. You see, people are like, what do you mean you didn't know? Why? The rabbis don't know? What, the psychologists don't know? People don't know? They don't know. They don't know the foundation of what makes or breaks a marriage. Here, somebody's telling me another guy's getting divorced. Yeah? He said, he's blaming her. Of course he's going to blame her. You know what? If you analyze the situation right now, guess what? She does look like the bad guy. Why? Because you already created a person who's completely revolting against the whole situation. Because that's it. Enough is enough. You understand? How much can you beat me up? Not physically, right?
Yeah.
I cannot. I can't. So therefore, yes, she's doing crazy things. Yes, she's stealing money from your account. Yes, she's cheating on you. Yes, she's not cooking for the house. Yes, she doesn't take care of the kids. Yes, everything. Why? You made it that way. You didn't marry her like that. And everybody says, no, she was not like that. You're right. She became like that. No. Maybe she was like that and I didn't know that. No. You made her like that. And therefore you have to take responsibility. You understand? It says in Talmud, in Chulin, how great is peace between man and his wife, as the Torah says that even God's holy name may be erased, by the water for the sake of peace. Where do we see that you can erase Hashem's name? Nowhere. Imagine if you write, certain parchment that you cannot. You wrote the whole thing, and I'm like, what do I do with this? Okay, Geniza. I do one of those. What? Big sin. Chas v'sholom. Shalom bayit. Erase my name. Hashem's like, erase my name. I want him to have peace. You hear? He says, when a husband suspects his wife of infidelity, his life is worthless to him. Imagine, this is a very powerful statement. When you know that your wife cheated, you become like the lowest of the low.
No, the wife accusing him.
No. When the husband suspects his wife of infidelity, his life is worthless. You know why? This is my wife. She went and gave herself to another man. It's a very, very, first of all, it's very hard for her, you should know. No woman wants to cheat on her man. It becomes one of those things where she's debasing herself. For a man to go with another woman, it's a little bit differently. But for a woman to give herself to another man, it's really debasing herself. And she does that out of like, emotional, terrible, feelings. Yeah. But the husband, once he finds out, chas v'sholom, that any of us should be in the situation, chas v'sholom, it's a very terrible feeling, whether she sinned or not. Yeah. To resolve this terrible state of indecision, the Torah commands the Cohen to write the Torah portion of the Sotah on parchment. Imagine on parchment, not even on regular paper. The Cohen submerges it in special water, whereby the name of God is erased. The suspected woman then is given this water to drink in the courtyard of the Beit HaMikdash. If she sinned, she suffers an immediate and terrible death. If she's innocent, she is recompensed, meaning she's rewarded for the shame caused to her. If she was barren, she will bear children. If not barren, the children she will bear after this will be outstanding in many ways. After such scene, the husband will cease to harass his wife with suspicions. On the contrary, he will apologize and peace will be restored between them. God could easily have ordered that the woman be given water mixed with certain herbs or something like that, right? I mean, why does God mix it with whatever, chamomile, drink and say whatever? He says no. The same results would have been had. The holy name and the entire portion of the Torah would be erased. Nonetheless, God said no. He specifically ordered that his name be effaced, erase it in the water to teach us a lesson for all time about the importance of sacrifice for the sake of peace. You hear? Hashem sacrificed his honor, sacrificed his name, which he said, never erase my name. He said, for Shalom Bayit, erase it. And therefore he wants to show us men that for Shalom Bayit, yes, my love, you're right. No big deal. Here. And like he said, the minute you say that, she's going to realize she made a mistake. Yeah, probably I didn't get that response. You know why? Because I never said, yes, you're right. You hear what I'm saying? I always try to prove that I'm right. Or at least that the situation is not the way not the way she envisions it. Now, let me tell you what it was that you think like that. You know? And they hate this defensiveness. They just want to be heard sometimes. And you say, okay, yes, my love, I understand. Yes, you're right. He says the Talmud Yerushalmi, and by the way, guys, don't tell me this, I'm a mop shmop, because what do we say? Better be a mop. Live with your wife, eat lavishly, sleep with her, be happy, have children, enjoy life as a mop. Then be a king with no woman, children that hate you, living in a basement, no food, and living a dreadful life thinking, Berlin, when am I gonna... Yeah. You hear? So you choose. For me, call me a mop. You hear?
We're the happiest mops.
Happiest mops in the world. I see many men who think they're men living in a basement in a dungeon, barely having something to eat, dry salami and a little piece of bread. Yeah, haven't seen a woman in months. God knows what they're doing over there. Haven't seen their kids in years. Why? Because they're a man, and I'm gonna die like that. Here, he says, the Talmud Yerushalmi writes, these are the things whose fruits a person eats in the world to come. In this world, sorry. While the principle is set for them in the world to come. All right? Elu devarim she'en lahem shiur. Right? We said this in the morning. Parental honor, acts of kindness, instituting peace between man and his fellow.
That's this world.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the Torah study is equal to all of them. Even if there's no reward for mitzvot in this world, this applies to the reward of the mitzvah itself. But there are acts whose fruits are rewarded in this world. There is no reward for mitzvot in general in this world. Why? Because you remember we said, Michtav Eliyahu said, Hashem, there's nothing in this world that's valuable enough, that's precious enough for him to give you a reward for the mitzvah you do. Small mitzvah, the reward is like, Hashem says, it doesn't fit in this world. That's why I can't give it to you here. I got to give it to you in the world to come. He goes, however, because that reward is so immense.
But we still get the reward.
He says the reward is so immense that even if one were to receive only a small portion of the reward for any one mitzvah in this world, he could enjoy a luxurious home and great wealth and still have left over. It is like a man who wants to buy a candy bar with a check of $1 million. He goes, that's what, you come $1 million. Yeah, I want to buy a candy bar. You know what I'm saying? He's like, it's $1. I have $1 million only. You hear what I'm saying? He says the reward is tremendous. You won't be able to. He says, who would cash it? Who would give him change for $1 million? Not any candy store here. He says, but one who practices the mitzvot the Talmud enumerates here, one of which is establishing peace between two people, receive the fruits or interest, as it were, in this world through economic ease, good health, and so on. He says, if you do shalom bayit between man and woman, says you can have economic ease, good health, and just as a interest of the reward. The reward is going to be still up there, but the interest of it. If this applies to one who makes peace between two people, how much more will a man receive if he sacrifices himself for the sake of peace with his wife? Surely the reward is immeasurable. A man may sometimes feel despair and lack of motivation in working towards marital harmony. As we said in the beginning of the class, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, he's miserable. He's like, you know what, I give up, I can't do it anymore. However, if he works to overcome the urge and argue, overcome the urge to argue, don't argue, and invest energy in appeasing his wife until there is peace between them, then he will benefit from a high quality of life, a generous income, good health, and other important things in this world, as well as a humongous reward in the world to come. If he keeps this in mind, he will do everything in his power to achieve harmony in his home, even if it means to sacrifice his own will or putting a great deal of effort in the process. You're right, 100%. She's not right. Yeah. Is it worth to get argument? Peace. Yalla. Just let it go and don't pay attention to it. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.